Welcome back, game changers. Let's get Instagram connected. Come on, Insta, let's get it. What if I told you, family, you can build $1 million business? Would you try it? Let's go. Come on, Instagram, give it to me. Just give me the light. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Boom, we're back better than ever, greater than ever. More blessed than ever. Welcome back, game changers. Welcome back, go getters. Welcome back, entrepreneurs. Welcome back, hustlers. Welcome back, mid level professionals. Welcome back, corporate executives. Welcome back. What are we doing? Why are we well as your night on this deal? So I'm super excited to be here as I always am. Listen, make sure we get all of our families connected. Love family. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Today's going to be episode 119, man, and I'm just super excited about man, Nikki, you already here, Nikki. What's up, Nikki? Nikki's on YouTube. I see you, Nikki. How you pop in so quick? I love that. I love the energy you bring to the chat. And who is that? And here and I mean, maybe I got your name right, maybe I got it, but I see you, family. I just want to let you know I recognize it. I see you. I appreciate you jumping in. So today's going to be episode 119, and I appreciate y'all. Today may be just a little bit, maybe a few minutes longer than normal, man. I got a lot to unpack, and you know how I feel. I feel like this is a safe place where I can really come here, share with you what's on my mind. Like, we're building this thing in public. So when you're building things in public, there's always room for error. There's always something more likely to go wrong than it is to go. I see you, Jay, right there on Instagram. Thanks for tapping in, family. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. So the whole family's in one place. So y'all know, if you're rocking with me, we got two big goals this year, right? The first goal is to actually build out $1 million brand, $1 million business, and do it in 12 months. The second big goal is we're building out a 50,000 member ecosystem inside the newsletter. And I always lead with this because there's so many new eyeballs that are coming into the chat, that's coming into the live on a daily basis, and they're trying to say, oh, okay, well, what are we supposed to get out of here? Outside of you watching me build $1 million brand, I'm helping like-minded individuals build up their personal brand, as well as create opportunities for themselves through understanding what it actually takes to build $1 million brand, right? So we're doing this thing in public. Here's the thing. I've been in the boardrooms. I've been part of some acquisitions. I was part of an executive team that sold a $750 million technology company at the end of 2018. But in 2023, I decided, you know what, Pat, bet on yourself, dude. Become an entrepreneur. Do that thing that you've always wanted to do. So I started doing that. And then I also realized, man, there's so many other like-minded individuals. They're trying to build their thing too. But along this journey, I see so many people get stuck, or they quit, or they tap out just because they don't understand the playbook. They never understood the system. How do you create visibility and wealth all at the same time? So I decided to build this thing in public. So I get to this to share with you guys, own your own audience, family, own your own ecosystem. So the most valuable thing I can tell you within the first 2 minutes, family. I see you, T-Rod. Thanks for tapping in. T-Rod, thanks for tapping in. Yeah, I see you, family, on TikTok. I appreciate the love, family. The most valuable thing I can always tell you within the first few minutes is own your own audience. So what do I mean by that? If you're a small business owner, you're an entrepreneur, even if you're a mid-level professional, you're trying to get to that next level, but you're trying to create side income for yourself. What you want to do is you want to create a landing page, you want to create a website, you want to create some type of form where you can start collecting people's information and then follow up with those people. Because once you build your community, now we're no longer relying on the algorithms to push out our information, right? We don't want to play the algorithm game. We want to play, hey, straight to the source game, right? So the people that rock with us, man, they can appreciate what we're doing. So as you move, as you dip, as you rock, as you pivot, those people, they move, they dip, and they rock, and they pivot with you, right? So y'all understand that. Own your own audience, family. So let's get into what are we going to be talking about today. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, is TikTok. Ninja, what's up, family? Welcome back. You've been super consistent. So I love seeing you in the feed. I see you, family. Who is that? Free, I see you, family. Yasmin, I see you. I see you, Sack. I mean, that's 5 action. No, it's action. It's action. I see you, family, as well. Some of these handles you got to get used to reading. I'm not used to reading these handles like this, but I see you. I see you, Ebony. Thanks for tapping in. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. All right, for whatever reason, one of these cameras is a little blurry, so y'all may want to look at me on the other camera. I'll see it on Instagram, but it looks fine on these other cameras right here, which is interesting. So I got two cameras. That's why I put up two cameras. Y'all never know. Sometimes the streaming latency, it impacts the stream and it makes the cameras look a little bit blurry. But it's not my cameras. I got some really high-tech cameras. So I see you. Ninja, what's up? Yeah, you've been going. You still? No, I'm not giving up, Ebony. Come on. I mean, Ninja, I'm not giving up, and no, neither should you. We're doing this thing in public. We've been 6 months at this thing, building this thing. Here's the thing. Before we get into today's talking points, okay? I see you, Putra on Instagram. Thanks for tapping in, family. Before we get into today's talking points, do me a solid, okay? Because I'm building an audience in public. Right now, go to your feed, invite 2-3 other like-minded individuals, people that's in your circle. Maybe they're outside of your circle. Maybe you haven't talked to them in a minute, but you know they're passionate about creating freedom. You know they're passionate about creating opportunities. You know they're passionate about creating generational wealth. You know they're passionate about building up their brand. Invite them to these lives. I do these every single day, noon Central Standard Time. They're 30 minutes or less. Today may be all the 30 minutes, but listen, invite other like-minded individuals. Love is love, support is support. So love on me, I love on you. We support one another. We grow together. We're what are we? I think we're 4 days away from the biggest drop that we had all year. Can y'all believe that? 4 days away, we're dropping the brand and invisibility of $1 Million Playbook. The goal is designed behind that whole build is to give you the insight and the framework, step by step, how to grow not only your brand, your business. And what I put in there, I put some frameworks in there to how to monetize what you bring to the table as well, because I think that's a missing piece for a lot of people. A lot of people, they know they should be doing something, but they don't know where to get started, and then two, how should I price myself, right? So I put that in the branding and visibility $1 Million Playbook. I am going to limit that to the first 250 because there's a lot of detail in there, and there's going to be a lot of hand-holding after the fact because you're going to ask some questions. You're going to be like, okay, Pat, I know this is dope, but what about this? What about that? So I created a whole community as well that you're going to get access to. So when I tell you I'm creating a community, there's a community of like-minded people that's designed to help you get to the next level. All right. So thank y'all for tapping in. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. I see you, Ida. Thanks for tapping in on Instagram. I see you, Monique. I see you, Jazz. Welcome back, Jazz. What's up, man? When you show up, you bring some energy too. So I appreciate you tapping in. Who else we got on there? I see you, Young. What's up, family? Yeah, man, y'all giving me love today. I feel like I don't even deserve the love yet because we haven't even gotten into the talking points, but I always appreciate the energy when you guys show up in the room. So we're going to get into this today. I see you, Janine. Thanks for tapping in, family. I see you, Monique. I see you on there. Yep, I see you. That's what's up. Who else is in there? Okay, let's get into it. Episode 119. Where's my drum roll? Get it, Pat. Get it. Let's go. Episode 119. The part of success that nobody sees. That's what we're going to talk about today. The part of success that nobody sees. So y'all give me a minute. Y'all know I got to get some stuff off my chest. I got to tell you how it is. And remember, I feel like this is a safe place. So remember, I can talk about what I want to talk about. I feel like you're not going to judge me. If anything, I'm going to get a little bit of support here. So I feel like this is a safe place. Do me a solid too. If you agree with something, you disagree with something, you want to challenge an idea, maybe you want me to give some more perspective to it, drop it in the comments because we're learning together. All right. I don't want this to feel like this is just you listening to me. I create communities, and those communities are designed to create impact for one another. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. I see you, Arshad. Thank you for tapping in. Young Brand said, "What's up to everybody?" So Young Brand is showing love. What's up, family? Oh, I see you. Yep. Anita, thank you for tapping in. I see you, family. Thank you. I appreciate you. Sunrise, thank you for popping in. We're talking about episode 119, the part of success that nobody sees. Family. Let's get right into it. Marcus, thanks for tapping in, family. Everybody loves the outcome, okay? Everybody loves the outcome. Episode 119, the part of success that nobody sees. Everybody loves the outcome. We love talking about the promotion, the launch, the revenue, the growth, the celebration, all of that, right? But what nobody talks enough about is the part before all of that. So we want to talk a little bit about that. This is the part that nobody sees. I'm talking about the revisions, the second guessing, the small adjustments that you have to make, the days where you just feel like, man, you're working hard, but nothing feels like it's actually moving in your favor. And I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 today. Y'all know I am. That's where most of the work actually lives, family, right? So here's today's message. Success is usually built long before it's recognized. All right. I want y'all to sit with that for a second. Success is usually built long before it's recognized. If y'all agree, you can say agree. If you disagree, you can put it in the comments. Listen, we're learning together. But I'm going to say this. Success is built long before it's recognized. Have you ever noticed how people are like, they celebrate the final result, but they never asked you about the 100 decisions that happened beforehand? Yeah, y'all know that? Y'all think about that? Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. Like, nobody asked about the how many times you changed the plan. They're not sitting here knocking on the door and say, Pat, how many times did you change that plan before you decided to go public? Nobody asked me that. Nobody's asking me how many mistakes did I make along the way. Not one person has asked me that yet. Nobody's asked me how many times I had to start over, right? They just see the results. That's the only thing that they see. And it's okay. It's okay. But as we get closer, I see you, family. Thanks for tapping in. Yep, you see it as well. It's what the people don't see. There's so much work that goes behind the scenes before people actually realize who you are, what you bring to the table, the value, your different and better story, what your business is about. There's a lot of effort that goes behind the scenes. So why am I sharing this with people? Because so many times the mindset, when we start building something, including our personal brand, we think it's supposed to happen overnight. We think just because I put myself out there, boom, they're going to notice Pat. They're going to decide that, you know what, we want to rock with him. They're going to decide, oh, we like his voice. They're going to decide we like the way he looks. They're going to decide we like his man. No, family, this is episode 119. We kicked this thing off January the 11th, 2026. And I'm just now getting some momentum going on with this thing, right? So our strategies that we put in place has actually been working, but it took some time, right? So as we get closer to June 29th is right around the corner. There are dozens of moving parts that are happening at the same time. And I want to remind everybody, June 29th is the biggest launch that we're having all year. We're launching the Branding and Visibility $1 Million Playbook, right? And I'm limited to the first 250 people. And I say that because it is action-packed. When I say action-packed, we're talking about transitional phases. We're talking about going from here to here. We're talking about so much insight and knowledge that we have no other choice but to lean into and transform into the version of ourselves that we truly want to believe, so truly want to be. And what do you say? And it's the work many of your peers wouldn't want to do. Absolutely. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that, man. Sometimes getting to the next level is putting yourself in a position where people are not willing to accept that offer, but you're willing to showcase your value beforehand, even if you feel like that offer or that particular position is below what your talent level is. Sometimes we just got to go out there and pop off and show people what we really bring to the table, right? So as we get closer to June 29th, there are dozens of moving parts that happen all at the same time, right? So we're talking about the landing pages updates, the course refinements, the email sequences, the content planning, the waitlist growth list, the launch strategy, the audience feedback, the community building and planning that's all happening behind the scenes. And here's the funny thing. Most of this work is never going to be seen. So you guys, like, I can talk about it, but y'all don't know what I'm doing behind the scenes. That's why I wanted to sit here and share with you what actually happens to building $1 million business, with building $1 million brand in public. A lot of work goes behind the scenes. You know what people end up seeing? People end up seeing the launch, but they won't see the preparation that happened before the launch actually happens. So this week alone, man, I looked at the landing page. Man, I must have looked at that landing page like more times than I like to admit. I just say that more times than I like to admit. And every time I think it's finished, I find another sentence that could be clear, another objection that I feel like could be addressed, another opportunity to simplify the message. Like, this is me. I'm telling about me, right? I'm an open book. I'm sharing with you what's going on with me. Hopefully you find value in the message that I'm sharing with you. So I want you to think about this. Sometimes growth isn't about doing more, family. Sometimes it's about making things easier to understand. And that's where my mind has been lately. And this is what I want to share with you. It's not about making the playbook bigger, more actionable, adding more value to it, making it clear. It's simply making it clear, all right? Because clarity converts. Oh, look at this camera. This camera now wants to follow me. Okay, what's up? Clarity converts. Confusion doesn't. I want y'all to stick with that line. Clarity converts. Confusion doesn't. What do you say? And it's the work many people. Yeah, that's who else just tapped in here? Nikki said, I find value in what you're sharing. I appreciate that, Nikki. Like the validation, it makes me feel good because at least one person is getting noticed and getting recognized in this. But everybody on here, we're looking to build something. That's why my audience has grown so much. Like we're talking about 1.2 million impressions in 90 days. We're talking about 9,000 plus followers in the last 6 months. We're talking about newsletter features. We're talking about magazine covers. All of that has happened just in the last 6 months because we've decided to build this thing in public. So one thing that this launch keeps reinforcing is how dangerous assumptions can be, family. I want to share that. When you're building something, it's easy to assume people are going to understand what you mean. Like it's super easy to that. And after all, listen, after all, you've been thinking about whatever idea you're working on for months. It's been living in your head. You've been working on it behind the scenes. But the audience, whatever audience you're building that thing for, they don't know what you've been building. Like they don't know how long this has been in your head. And that's a huge difference. I think you need to understand it. Sometimes we need to step away from it, invite the audience feedback into it so you can sharpen your mindset, so you can sharpen your particular build, because we don't want to start building stuff, spending dollars and cents, a whole lot of time building solutions, but nobody wants to buy that shit. Like what? So it's a huge difference. You want to think about that. So I found myself asking a question recently. I was like, okay, Pat, clarity converts, confusion doesn't. You spot on, young. That's what's up. Clarity converts, confusion doesn't. I found myself asking a question recently. I was like, okay, Pat, if somebody landed on your landing page right now and knew absolutely nothing about you, absolutely nothing, would they immediately understand the value? All right. I'm gonna pause there because I want you to think about that too when you're building your thing. If somebody landed on your website, if somebody landed on your LinkedIn page, if somebody landed on whatever that happens to be, and they said, okay, well, who is Tasha? Right? Who is Tasha? We should be able to, within a sentence or two, explain who we are, the value, what we bring to the table, right? That's why I keep checking everything. I was like, dude, if somebody landed on my page right now, would they know what I'm talking about? Would they know who I am? Would they know the value that I bring to the table? And that's the litmus test when you're building something. It's not whether I understand it, it's whether they understand it. And when I'm talking about they, we're talking about your clients, your ICP, your customer, the end result, whoever you're building that thing for. And that's where building in public has been incredibly valuable for me, because I get the comments, I get the messages, I get the questions, I get the feedback. Like they've exposed my assumptions that I didn't even realize that I was making. And it's helped me make the product so much stronger. Let me pause. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Okay, I got LinkedIn on there. Do me a solid really quick because I need about a good 5-7 minutes to land this baby. All right. This is a good time. Pull out your phone, invite 2 or 3 other like-minded people and say, hey, Pat is doing his live. He's building out $1 million business. Every single episode, he drops gems. Every single episode, there's something to take away from it. Every single episode, he's making himself visible. Every single episode, he's sharing the shit that he's gone through, the shit that hasn't worked, even the shit that actually works, so we can actually build something together. Like we're building an actual community here. So y'all do me a solid. Y'all want to do that right now. The other thing too is while we're waiting for some more people to come in, we got 2 big goals: the $1 million brand, the $1 million in revenue. The second goal is the 50,000 members in the ecosystem. Right now, we're still at 7,000. We got 6 months to get to 50. I want to see your name and your face on the inside, because on the inside is where you're going to get the full scoop for how do you actually build out your $1 million brand? How do you actually build out your $1 million business? The frameworks, the automations, the systems. You're going to get also access to the branding and visibility of the $1 million playbook, right? The first 250 is going to get access for the first drop, okay? So I want to see you on the inside. If you haven't signed up for that, there's a link in the bio, there's a QR code, there's a floating banner, depending on where you follow me, or simply type newsletter, and I'll make sure you get access to it as well. All right, so y'all do me a solid on that. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. The part that nobody talks about. So let me be real. Thanks for tapping in, family. I appreciate you. Let me be real for a second. The closer you get to your launch, right, the more tempting it becomes to chase perfection. I wanted to point that out because I'm not the only one. I want to share it with you. this is what happens. The more closely you get to launching whatever that thing is, it can be your web page, it can be a redesign of your website, it can be a redesign of your personal page on LinkedIn, whatever it happens to be. But the closer you get to your launch, the more tempting it becomes to chase perfection. Have you ever done that before? Y'all feel like it needs to be perfect before you do it. Like I need to keep editing it before I reveal it to the world. I need to make one or two more small tweaks before I feel like it's ready. And then you in that time loop of continuing to edit before you actually start putting yourself out there. You keep tweaking, you keep revising, you keep editing. And it's not because, listen, it's not because the thing that you're working on, it's not because it's not ready. That's not it. It's because you're nervous. That's what it is. I'm just going to call it out. I'm there. It's kind of like, I don't know how many people have ran track, but I grew up running track, right? And you get on the starting block, you put your hands down, and you know that gun is about to go off, and your nerves is like you got to start getting the bubble guts right before that gun go off. But as soon as that gun goes, boom, you're in action, you're running. The nerves are gone. Same thing with riding the bike, whatever that happens to be. You use the same analogy, right? But when you're building your thing, it's not that it's not ready, it's just you're nervous. Yeah, clarity converts, confusion doesn't. You're nervous, family. It's because you're trying to remove uncertainty. And I get that. I've caught myself doing that. I do it all the time, more than once, more than I like to admit. Like you keep telling yourself you're improving something when what you're really trying to do is create certainty for yourself. That's what you're really trying to do. And that's the problem right there, because certainty doesn't exist. Let me be the first one to tell you that. Certainty does not exist, not in business, not in entrepreneurship, not in launching something new. And at some point, you just have to trust that the work that you put in this thing is actually going to pay off. You have to trust the preparation. You have to trust the process. Y'all heard that before. I'm not telling you anything new. I'm just the one that's actually telling you today. Trust the preparation, trust the process. It's not because everything needs to be perfect. It's because perfection was never the goal. When did you write down when you was building your brand? When did you write down when you was building your business? When did you write down when you was building your website that the goal was to be perfect? I don't know how many people written it down. I never wrote it down. That was never the goal. The goal is never to be perfect. The goal is progress. Can we get 1% better every single day? Every single day. Can I improve 1% better every single day? That's the goal. And I think a lot of people stay stuck because they're waiting for a feeling that never arrives. Come on now, let me say that. A lot of people feel stuck because they're waiting for a feeling that never arrives. The feeling that tells them, oh, Pat, you're ready. The feeling that guarantees success. The feeling doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Dude, I'm 4 days away from dropping the biggest launch of this year. It's the only launch that we had this year because we've been building in public. We've been creating trust. We've been working through our process. We've been working through our roadblocks. We've been working through building feedback. We've been working on shaping what our brand actually looks like. And now we're at that point, we're about to get a drop. Here's the thing I want to share with you. Am I excited? Absolutely. Am I nervous? Yeah, you can be nervous. But what I'm most prepared for is the feedback that I learn after the drop happens. The drop doesn't define me. It doesn't define the business. It doesn't define the brand. The drop only reveals where we need to tighten up. Y'all with me? Y'all let me know if y'all with me or not. Because I feel like I'm preaching today. And y'all know I always like to preach, but this is what's on my mind. Rob Dunn, what's up, fam? I see you on YouTube. Thanks for tapping in. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. Listen, family, execution has to happen anyway. Nerves and all, no nerves, execution has to happen. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. Here's another lesson that keeps showing up. I'm about to share with you. Patience. 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 I'm going to say that again. Patience. It's another lesson that keeps showing up for me, patience. And I'm not talking about passive patience. I'm talking about active patience. And there's a difference. I'm going to explain it to you really quick. Patience. Patience. Active patience. Active patience means continuing to work while waiting for the results. This is active patience. It's continuing to improve while waiting for feedback. We're talking about active patience. Continuing to build while waiting for momentum. We're talking about active patience. That's what we're doing right now, what we're doing in public. The daily live, the newsletter, the content, the wait list, the course, all active patience. It's all part of the same ecosystem, family. And sometimes I got to remind myself, I'm like, Pat, those foundations are, Pat, those foundations you're building, they're not supposed to be exciting. No, They're supposed to be strong. And this is where a lot of people get lost in the process. You think just because you're building something, you're supposed to be excited during the journey. No, no one said you need to be excited to build your brand. No one said that you need to be excited to angle for that corner office. No one said you need to be excited to ask for the raise that you deserve. You don't need to be excited. We just build a foundation so it's strong, so it can support us as we elevate and grow. That's what we're doing right here. I'm gonna land this baby. Y'all know I like to preach. I'm gonna land it. Here we go. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. So the next time you see somebody succeed, family, I'm gonna say this. Remember something. I want you to remember something. You're probably seeing the visible part, right? Not the invisible part. You're seeing the visible part. Not the preparation that happened along the way, not the uncertainty that actually that they had during along the process, not the 100 revisions that they made along the way, not the moments where they questioned themselves over and over again, so much so that it brought tears to their eyes. You know, that's me. That has been me. So many freaking late nights in the backyard, you're crying because what you're looking for is you're looking for certainty, but what you really need to understand, the action comes through momentum. Like, if you want to create momentum, we actually create action. And I'm an open book. I'm going to share with you. I'm one of those empathetic leaders. I believe that, you know what, you can impact people by understanding people. It has led me very successfully in my career thus far. Understand people, understand their challenges, understand what they're trying to build, and then help them see themselves in such a way that it amplifies their brand so they can actually accomplish the thing. So what you end up seeing is the outcome. So I'm gonna keep it all the way above right now. The invisible work is where the real story lives, family. And right now, that's exactly where we are. We're building, we're adjusting, we're learning, we're preparing, because June 29th, family, it isn't creating success for us, it's revealing the work that has already been happening behind the scenes. And that's what I've been thinking about, family. Man, come on, man. Y'all, where's the thing at? Let me give myself a round of applause. That's it. That's it right there. That's it. That's what we're doing. Listen, we're 4 days away from the biggest drop of the year. And I don't know if I can say this enough, but your support means the world to me, because it's one thing to actually decide you're going to build something in public, but it's another thing when you create an impact from the things that you're actually doing. So if you guys follow me, if you don't follow me, give me a follow. I would appreciate that. Here's the other thing too. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. We're dropping that thing in 4 days. Two things too. Go to my bio. I created my new landing page. I'm super excited about it. Like, I invested real money in that thing. Y'all know I just told you I tweaked that thing 100 different times. I'm super excited about it. So get to know a little bit more about me. I think you'll find some value in that, because I found value in creating it. The other thing too is join the newsletter. We're dropping that thing June 29th, and I would love to see you on the inside, because I'm building a community of like-minded individuals where we're going to elevate, amplify, challenge, and reward the efforts that we bring to the table. Family, until next time, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Oh, what? I get a comment really quick. Excitement wanes. Excitement, absolutely, absolutely. So, family, much love. See you tomorrow.